What is up, everybody? I am your legendary commander here, and today we are here to talk about the Argy in 2018. How is it today compared to what it was back in the day? Well, we're not going to talk too much about what it was back in the day, as the Argy has much improved, but you can obviously see there's a major skin difference if you haven't already. They don't normally come in these vibrant colors just because of a mod, so ignore the coloring scheme. The Argy has had a new skin as well since the original version of the Argy. It's now no longer just what looked like an old raven. It now looks like honestly more of a buzzard type creature. But don't let the looks fool you. This thing can pack a lot of weight and is one of the RG's most endearing qualities. If you decide to tame one, they're actually fairly easy to tame. You can pretty much freehand them as long as you have just a little bit of movement speed. 140 is what everybody suggests. I can do it with about 120. However, with freehanding and the torpor gets too high, they may start to run. This is a big issue when you don't have a high-power rifle, and they may attempt to escape you. To prevent them from escaping, you can draw them into a cage before trying the train job. Once knocked out, feed them kibble, which is stego kibble or mutton, and keep on feeding the narcotics to keep them torpored out. Metal, stone, crystal, obsidian, processed ingots, all these can be carried at a reduced weight of half of what would be in your own inventory. And with their weight scaling like a champ, they can carry a lot of it. At one time, Argies were considered more of a combat bird. They're no longer really fitting that role. They're more suited to a support role or a utility role. They're best for running large amounts of material or picking up moderately large dinos. While the Argy can fill that combat role, it's really slow, and unfortunately that's really where it suffers. Its slowness makes it very hard for it to actually maintain a combat role against even pterodons, which play now more of a scout role. Don't let that discourage you from taming one of these guys. These guys are still very useful. Early on, these guys still pack enough of a punch to help you and support you in a PvE role as a combat unit, whereas in a PvP role, they kind of fall flat on their face. On the PvE side of things, you'll find that this dino can actually regen its stamina in mid-flight while it consumes corpses. If you consume a corpse, and as long as you do not sprint, you will find that this thing can indeed gain stamina for 20 seconds every time it eats a corpse. So if you have some bodies laying around, you can kill a dodo, or maybe even just pick up a dodo. That would be very helpful. However, watch out for picking up, as that does drain your stamina very quickly. Depending on your target, the RG is actually completely capable of collecting up to 3 dinosaurs and carrying them across the map at once. It just depends on the size of those dinos. The RG can carry 1 large dino in its claws, and when I refer to large, I'm referring to parasaur size or about generally that size. Its beak can carry a small dino or whatever a pterodon can basically carry, so humans, dillos, things of that nature. And the final one is your shoulder pet or the animal you have in your hands. It can definitely carry that animal. So if you have a dodo or something you need to transport, maybe a dung beetle, you're trying to get about 3 dung beetles at once. Well, you can get 2 of them, not 3, because the beak can't carry the dung beetle. But you can go ahead and still carry 2 plus your prized dodo at the same time, all back to your base. On your flight back to your base, you may very well run out of stamina. You'll find that the RG, depending on how much stamina you have, which I highly suggest to pump at least to 1,000 stamina to make your RG worthwhile and be able to cross country, you'll find that the stamina regen is okay. It's not the best. It's a little slow, honestly. And after waiting so long, you find that you kind of were exposed, and if anybody just wanted to snipe you off your bird, it pretty much could. However, if you decide to walk around, it even doubles that time, so you're having to regen stamina at half the rate while walking around trying to prevent being maybe shot, but honestly, even then, an RG doesn't walk very fast, which means more than likely you're going to get nailed anyway. If you do get this luxury, go ahead and dine on a corpse as soon as possible. It's going to give you 3 points of stamina every half second, it appears, and it also reduces the amount of stamina drain when you are sprinting if you've decided to sprint. In the case that you run out of stamina before you actually make it back to the base, and you're way up in the air, you can go ahead and throw stem berries onto your bird and feed him the stem berries. Those stem berries will help recharge the stamina, allowing you to continue to fly or at least make it to the ground so you're not kicked off midair and then wind up on the ground dead with a bird too high to even whistle down. After flying slowly back to your base, you may realize that you could have actually crafted a lot of those items in the inventory. The Argent saddle actually performs the same act as the beaver saddle and becomes a smithy. This allows you to produce a lot of your material out in the field. You will have to do things like for ingots have to smelt that metal, but if you do have that luxury of being able to smelt the metal out in the field, bring some cementing paste with you. Maybe you can craft or fix your armor right there on the spot instead of running all the way home to get new armor. Now this one's a trick of the trade here. If you do happen to have an RG and you are good with it or your buddy's really good with it, you can actually pick up people not just off their Ankylo, but on their Ankylo. That's right, you can actually pick up the Ankylo if you aim for its tail, or you can go ahead aim low down in the body, get close to the ground pretty much, and try and pick up the ankh. What'll happen is you'll pick it up just like you would with the Quetzal, how it doesn't pick up the player, but it picks up the whole creature. And then you can go ahead and swing just like you would back on the Quetzal, where you'd pick it up with the Quetzal and you would swing from its claws. Being such a small bird and being faster than the Quetzal, while carrying a very good amount of weight, this bird can be very, very useful in collecting and harvesting large amounts of metal and other resources. And this is mainly what the Argy is used for. Well, guys, that is all I got for the Argy. I know there's probably some other uses, but I know offhand these are the base ones right here. These are the things that people use the Argy mainly for. Anything else, it's out of the ordinary. And if you happen to know it, drop it in the comments down there. Definitely make sure we're sharing this information with everybody, because honestly, some of these tricks I've just learned recently, like picking up the Ankleo. So, definitely share those down in the comments down there. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you share it with your friends. But you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.